Uh, Creed, wondering what you make of this OU run game that obviously had some struggles kind of early in the year with its inexperience. What do you guys make of, I guess, the progress that you've been able to make as an offensive line and working in unison with those guys in the backfield?
Yeah, I feel like we've improved each week. We're not where we want to be yet still. But, I thought we had a pretty good game in the run game against Texas. We obviously we have a lot to improve on still. But I think, with this past bye week and, this week of practice, I think we'll continue to make big steps. So I'm excited to see what happens this weekend.
Thanks, Creed.
Okay, Jason Kersey and then Eric Bailey.
Yeah, Creed, wanted to ask you about Drake Stoops, a kid who obviously comes with a big, his name means a lot around the program. But what has impressed you about him, as a team captain? What has impressed you about Drake?
Just his work ethic. He came in, he wanted to make his own name. He didn't want to live off, his dad's name. And he's came in here and worked so hard, to get where he is now. And, now he's had these games, he's playing really good. And it's just, you love to see it, for a guy who works as hard as him, it's awesome to see for sure.
Thanks, Creed.
Okay, Eric Bailey and then Ryan Aber.
Hey, Creed, you guys have played in a lot of close games early this season and late last year as well. As players, do you feel like you guys have a good grasp about that thin line between wins and losses? And then also, how much have coaches emphasized that to the team?
Yeah, I've played in a lot of close games around here throughout my career. There's been a lot of times we've came out on the winning side of those games. Obviously, the two games before Texas, we didn't come out on top. But I think it's really just about figuring out, how to win. How to in those crunch times stay focused. Stay ready, things like that. Keep playing sharp and. I think we took a lot of big steps with that in the Texas game, because we stayed mentally focused and stuff throughout all those overtimes and stuff. And it was exciting to see, because, we have a lot of young players and they're able to keep their minds straight, stay focused, stay sharp throughout the whole time. So it was really good. The coaches, they put some emphasis on that for sure. We got to finish these games better. There's no doubt in my mind that we have to finish better than what we have.
Thanks, Creed.
Okay, Ryan Aber and then Bob Prisbillo.
Yeah, Creed, sort of along the lines of where you ended that answer, the fourth quarter numbers are pretty stark, especially when you look at what y'all have done early on in games. What do you attribute that to, and just how can y'all work to be better in late in games? Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's sort of a thing of, we're not mentally as sharp during those times, when we get late in games, it's a close game, things like that. We got to do a lot better job of staying focused, making sure we're doing everything right, making sure we're doing every technique that we're supposed to be doing out there right, giving 100% effort, things like that. Really, I think it's just staying focused, and having that mentality to keep going no matter what, which, we've let some games get closer than what we should have for sure, because of just mental lapses late in games, things like that. So it's something we need to work on for sure.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, Bob Prisbillo and then James Hale.
Yeah, Creed, you guys have talked before that you have no problem with Spencer Rattler and the way that he's been leading the team. But when he bounces back like he did in those overtimes, how does that reinforce and really let you guys know that he is ready for any moment?
Yeah, it was awesome to see. I wasn't really expecting anything less for him to do that. He's a hell of a player, and he has that attitude of being a winner. So, I wasn't really expecting anything less from him during that time. So, he did what I expected him to do, and he played really good, played great during those overtimes, and it was exciting to see.
Okay, James Hale and then Keegan Renault.
Creed, you've now played TCU a few times, and you know what Gary Patterson brings on his defense and what they do. Are they difficult to scheme for? Are they difficult to prepare for? What do you think of their defense and what they're doing now?
Yeah, they have a great scheme. Their coaches do a great job of implementing their schemes, things like that. Their players are They got really talented players for sure. They're really focused, really sharp with what they do. You don't really see too many mental lapses with them. So it's a fun game to play in. You know, they always have a good defense, so it's exciting to play against them.
Thanks, Creed.
Yep.
Keegan Renault and then Parker Thune.
Creed, you guys did get an addition to the offensive line last week when Chris Murray's eligibility he got approved. What have you seen from him so far, and what's impressed you about him?
Yeah, I know it's exciting to see that he got approved. You know, he's a good player. You know, I'm excited to see where he goes from here for sure. You know, he practices hard and everything, so it'll be exciting to see where he goes from here.
Parker Thune and then Ryan Chapman.
Hey, Creed, Keegan kind of swiped that from me. I was going to ask about Murray as well, but I want to ask you instead about going down to TCU to play on the road, you know, being in that road environment versus being at home in Norman. How does Ammon G. Carter Stadium, having been there before, what's it like as a venue, and how do you think it'll be different given the seating restrictions?
Yeah, you know, usually that's a fun place to play. You know, their fans are always good there whenever we played there, so it'll be different for sure. You know, I'm still expecting for, you know, the amount of fans they have, they'll be loud. So it'll be exciting to play in that type of environment for sure. It's a fun place to play, though.
Okay, Ryan Chapman and then Kerry Murdoch.
Yeah, Creed, so you kind of talked about the struggles or the matchup with the TCU defense. This is Spencer's first time having to digest that defense. Lincoln's kind of said how difficult that front seven is to kind of digest pre-snap. How have you been helping him through that, knowing it's his first time going up against them?
Yeah, you know, it's really just, you know, trusting, you know, what he sees and things like that. You know, he'll do a good job, I'm sure. But, you know, he's one of those guys, he takes preparation very seriously. So I think he'll be prepared for it for sure.
Thanks, Creed.
Yep.
I think we're only going to have time for one more. Kerry.
Hey, Creed, your defensive line has been one of the most consistent parts of your team this year. I'm curious, I don't know how much practice you guys had going up against them in the preseason, but did you kind of see that coming? And what can you tell us about Perrion Winfrey and some of the battles you may have had with him? What stands out about him?
Yeah, you know, he's such a naturally gifted athlete. You know, he's, you know, fast, physical, strong, you know, all the tools you really want in a guy like him. So it's been exciting to see him, you know, grow so far this year and, you know, play the way he's played. And, you know, going in fall camp and stuff, going against them every day, you know, we kind of expect them to be able to do that. You know, they have some really talented players. You know, their coaches coach them up great there. So it's been exciting to see for sure. But to be honest, yeah, I was expecting it. You know, they have some really good opportunities up front for them. So I'm excited to see where they go for the rest of the year.